Today we are in Karen with an urban farmer by name Harriet, who will be telling us more about herself and how she got into urban farming. Harriet?
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us today. Yeah, so let's get to know who Harriet is.
We've been in this home of ours for the past 8 years. It's half an acre. And one of the things we were very keen on, even as we were moving from the city center to outside the city, was to be very sustainable in terms of food production. Because my husband also comes from a farming background. He's not a farmer, but he grew up in a farming community. So he was always very keen on how can we produce our own food. And it does make a difference. You know, when you produce your own food, there's something about maybe the love you have, it enters the food, and you know, when you eat it, there's a lot of pride, you know. Unaweza kupika sukuma yangu, unaweza kupika hii ni maziwa yetu ama ni kuku yetu or eggs. One of the other things I really like about urban farming is it keeps my kids very busy. You know, sometimes these children, especially the ones in town, they can tend to be very laid back. You know, if you give them a bit of space, they're running to the TV, to the PlayStations. But they all have their duties now in the house. One knows they have to feed the chicken. At this time, they have to go and pick the eggs. You also saw we have dogs. The dogs have to be fed. Their kennels have to be cleaned. So it really is a good way to also rally the family around things.
So can you say that COVID has contributed to this?
Yes, actually COVID contributed to this in the sense that it gave us time also to be home more often. So when you're at home more often, then you see more opportunities, yeah? Like the chicken house we had there, you know, we expanded it. My children actually, they built it themselves, eh? We just went online, we looked for a nice house for a chicken design. They built it because also they were very idle, they had nothing to do. Also, when you think about sometimes, you know, the fact there's restricted movement, you might not be able to go to the supermarket when you like. But, you know, you just walk down to the garden, you pick your eggs, you pick your skumas. It's also very, very nice. So COVID has helped us appreciate it more and helped us see what more things we can do with the space that we have.
So what are the types of farming that you have, and what informed that decision?
Okay.
Like you have the apiaries, we can see you have the dogs, you have the multi-story garden. Yes. What is that you thought about to have the combination?
So as I said, when we're looking for sustainability, one of the things we thought about is what are the foods we eat frequently and we are always going to the supermarket to buy. Yeah, and every time you go to the supermarket, the price has gone up a little bit, So that was a big contributing factor. Can we then have foods that we like and we eat more frequently? So the basics are the green vegetables, the traditional bogas, managu, the spinach, the spinach, the sukuma wiki. Also, when the weather is nice, we like to eat salads, but sometimes you go to the supermarket, you look at a lettuce, it costs a bit of money. And yet, if you grow it, they grow very well and very quickly. So that was one of the informing decisions. What do we eat and eat frequently? As you can see behind me, we also have sweet bananas. My children love sweet bananas, yeah? So when I had a chance to go to Kisii, I got a seedling and I planted, and they've been doing very well. And sometimes you can harvest the banana. As soon as it ripens, they finish the whole bunch, you know. So there's that economic aspect also, yeah? Can I get things cheaper? Also, a lot to do with now looking for more organic ways of farming, yeah? You know, there's sometimes a lot of pesticides are used in food production, but here we don't use any pesticides. We use our natural manure from the chicken, for example. We just go and do research on how do we get rid of pests with natural things like garlic, vinegar, and things like that. Then the bees we kept because, again, we love honey. Nothing to do with COVID. We loved honey even before COVID. And bees, I like them because they're very low maintenance animals to keep, per se, you know. So long as the environment is conducive to them, they have enough water, space, very little disturbance, they just do their business, yeah. So all we do is maybe every 1 1.5 months, we come, we check the hives, we maintain them, we harvest whatever honey it is. We harvest it raw, so we don't pasteurize, we don't add anything. So we just let it drip for like 2-3 days, and we have our honey. Yeah. So that has what has driven us to go for urban farming. Yeah, and of course the satisfaction of working on the land, you know, producing your own food. It's very relaxing also, you know, just to, you know, walk around, do a bit of weeding, planting new things, experimenting. If you see in the garden there, you'll see some random maize. That's my husband experimenting. So you have your nice flower there, then you find a maize plant, yeah. Also, we've done fruits as well. I'll show you up. We have some tree tomatoes. So sometimes the kids just come out to play, and instead of going into the house for their snack, they just, you know, pick a fruit and eat and continue.
What are some of the limitations you can say you have maybe?
I think one of the limitations is because it's a learning process. So sometimes you try something and it doesn't work. So you have to try once, twice, 3 times. But the important thing is not to give up, you know. Every failure is a lesson. It's a trial and error, yeah. Like I remember with the bees, there was a time they were doing very well, and then they were invaded by ants. We don't know where they came from, but you know, you just start again. You clean it up, you put the hives. So you're also subject to the forces of nature. But I always say it's not a reason to give up. It's just now, you know, next time when I'm doing this, I have to look out for A, B, C, D. So that's been some of the challenges. In the initial beginning, maybe another challenge was the water, yeah, but we've also been able to use the river here. And we're very lucky, it's there all year round, it never dries. So it's like now when we've had the dry season, we've been able to irrigate, so we're still able to keep up the food production, especially with the vegetables. As I say, the challenges mainly come from nature, yeah. So one day you'll find maybe your vegetables are doing very well. You come the next morning, something came and ate all of them, you know. Because also here we are surrounded by a forest, you know. So those are some of the challenges. Many of the challenges come from the surrounding and the nature. So we have to find a way of coexisting with the animals.
So food safety is a big concern to consumers, and you said that at least you're able to know what it is that is being eaten in your own house. Yeah. Do you think organic farming is sustainable?
I think it is, and if you think about even our traditional farming practices, they were very organic. If you go up country, maybe to your grandmother's place, and you know, you ask them, how did we used to grow this or the other? And you'll also realize they didn't grow everything all the time. They knew this was the season for potatoes, this was the season for this and the other, and they had the patience. I think a lot of the issues of food safety comes because of, you know, maybe this thing of commercializing farming. So you want things to grow faster, more, yeah? And therefore you put things in the food to grow them, make them grow faster or to produce more. But if we are patient enough and we respect the seasons, if we know in season ya maize, so we eat maize. Then this is season for potatoes, we eat potatoes. But if you want potatoes here all year round and it's not potato season, then you see we're now forced to start introducing things that maybe would not exist in nature. Yeah, so I would say for maybe personal consumption, if people have an opportunity, they should take it. And space, as you can see, is not a problem. Urban farming solutions are so many, yeah. You can have a small, even an eighth, yeah. You have your house, you have your skumas, you have your onions, you have your tomatoes. And I'm sure that is something every Kenyan eats every day in this country, yeah.
And most people living in the urban settings, of course, are living in flats. What solution do you think?
I think there are solutions even for people who live in flats. If you do a bit of research, I've seen even people who are now growing vegetables on walls. Yeah, you put nice pouches, you just look for a long wall, and you know, you put each plant in their own pouch, and you're able to get your vegetables. You have the sacks nowadays where you can grow the vegetables out of the side of the sack and the top of the sack. And I also think I also see some of the urban farming solutions I've seen from other countries is even if you live in a group of flats or in an area where there are many flats, they have what they call communal farms. So you might agree to rent or lease a space which has not been developed, and you all agree we grow food and all the people who contribute can harvest from here. Yeah, because the issue is not space. I think the issue is just creativity. I also read a story on how now there's urban beekeeping. Yeah, they're using roofs of buildings, you know, maybe abandoned buildings or old buildings, and they're able to keep bees in the building right on the roof. So it's just, as human beings, I think we can be very creative. We are not limited by our surroundings. And if we really look for solutions towards our food safety, our food security, we can find it. If you had asked me 7 years ago, would I be eating my own burgers, I probably would have told you no. You know, I'll just go to the supermarket or the mama mboga and buy them. But it is possible.
So now you will be taking us around just so that we see what it is that you've planted. And I think just to emphasize, one of the things that Harriet has said is there is that comfort of knowing what it is that you're eating. You know, you can grow your food in an organic way, and especially now when food safety is such a big concern. And also keeping the kids busy for those with kids and giving them something more productive to do with their time.
Yeah, so you can see when you walk from up to down, it's quite a workout. So you don't need to go to the gym as well. But here now we have the skumas, very nice. This is a new species. I hadn't had this before. They're called calicales, very nice. And they look beautiful, as you can see. Then these are strawberries. Also, they were planted at the same time. You can already see they're starting to flower. Like this one, we planted also about a month and a half ago. We're also eating these ones. These ones actually are quite resilient. They're also very soft sukuma wiki. Eh? So there's very little acidity and stomach upsets. I know some people have a problem with skumas. So I've been very happy with this species of calicale. Very nice. Then we have our strawberries here. They're doing very well, as you can see. They're starting to flower. But incidentally, this is not the one that we will eat. We'll have to prune all the flowers, so the next one that comes out, they come out with bigger berries. Eh? Yeah.
So what is it you have?
I've been advised that it will, you see, this is what becomes a strawberry. Eh? So if you prune this one and the next flower comes, this berry is bigger. So you'll get bigger strawberries. You know, sometimes you get strawberries and they're very little, yeah? So if you want bigger strawberries, you prune the first flowers.
So you abort the first flowers.
Yes, yeah, you remove the first flowers. This for us is a new venture, so we are very excited. We want to see how well it will do this time. Great.
Okay, so where are you taking us next?
Yeah. Then behind you there, you can see we also have a biogas. So we use our kitchen waste to produce gas for cooking in this container here. So we try not to also throw too many things in the dustbin.
That is very interesting. Talk about that.
So kitchen waste, any kitchen waste, like, you know, when you cook ugali and you scrape the
sufuria.
Yes, when you make tea, the tea leaves, when you peel potatoes, carrots, so we put them all in here.
This is is it a digester?
Yes, exactly. So this now, the fermentation will happen, and then the ethanol that's produced, you can see the wire. We take it to the kitchen and we're able to use it for cooking. Yeah.
And it's sufficient?
It's sufficient.
Like you don't buy gas?
No, we do.
Okay.
We still do buy gas, but it's sufficient. I mean,
yeah, it's
now
a good supplement. Like,
it's a good supplement, exactly.
It's cut down on your cost, a big deal.
Precisely. We were very interested in trying a lot of green solutions. Like our house is 90% solar. Yeah, so if you were in the garden down, you'd have seen the solar panels. So everything runs on solar except the oven. Yeah, and the microwave, but everything else runs on solar.
Okay, is that all we have? You mentioned of herbs.
Yeah, like,
spices.
okay, now here in the garden, you can see in the pots, we've put some herbs. This is a herb, oregano.
That's oregano.
Yes.
It's called oregano.
This is thyme.
Thyme, yeah.
Thyme, yes. So also we try some cooking herbs. We put them. So they're very nice because they also look ornamental. Yeah. So you can actually put it and somebody doesn't know it's a food. Yeah. So you mix it with the flour like we've done there. Yeah. And then you saw the rosemary down there as well. This is a tree tomato tree. And then you see the slurry that comes from here is also very good fertilizer.
So
Yeah.
this goes back to your
Yeah,
gardens.
it goes back to the garden.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.